Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
And then just for the final piece of this video, which is 26 to 30.
Yeah.
With the holistic system of spiritual religious.
So, I was doing my thing and everything, and this guy, my PE aide, comes in. He's a trainer for all these MMA guys.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the last episode of Kingdom, that HBO.
Yeah.
But he trains all these. He rubs elbows with all these. As a matter of fact, his partner is Dillashaw.
Oh, okay.
They have like a little seasoning.
Yeah.
Hey, that's endorsement.
Yeah.
Right? And so he rubs elbow with these guys. Well, anyway, he says, hey, I went to this seminar. And I'm like, okay. So we started going at it, right?
Back and forth.
About the Bible.
Yep.
Because he's learning this stuff and he's telling me.
Yeah.
And so, we're going back and forth. And the long story short is I finally called him an idiot because he said my grandma is not in heaven. And so I had listened to like 5 of the seminar tapes, and they kind of made sense. But when he said that, it ticked me off.
Right.
Because, my grandma was a great lady.
Yeah.
And so I was pissed. And so I said, that's it. Well, anyway, try to make a long story short because I could go into that forever.
Yeah.
He said, well, just keep praying about truth and studying the Bible. Because I was studying every night, a couple hours, just to prove him wrong the next day. Right? It wasn't even like for anything else, just like... And so, long story short, these 2 guys came to my house, and I was telling him about it. He gave me a book. I started reading. I'm like, man, that makes sense. Went back to tape 1, went through the whole 25 tapes, and it was undeniable. Mm-hmm. Right? It was just like 1 + 1 = 2. Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly go together, so on and so forth. Yeah. And so I got like really serious about studying that Bible. It was the only, you were like maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 or 3, somewhere in there, whatever. It was the only summer I didn't work. Mm-hmm. And I'm not kidding you, I literally had you in one arm and read the Bible in the other arm. And then I would switch and my arm would fall asleep 8 hours a day. Yeah. And that's all I did. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. I read the Bible in it. So I knew that Bible pretty well inside and out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like I told you, there's only been 2 what I would call, freaky type experiences. Yeah. And one when he hugged me, supernatural. I'm like, people look at you like, yeah, right. Yeah. But I got very close to Jesus during that time, and I was a different animal. Mm-hmm. I was, I was so nice and so sweet, and I still had my intensity, but it was not, it was a lot nicer. It was, all those things. Yeah. And but he took me over. Mm-hmm. It wasn't me doing it. I don't know how else to explain. People say that. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. No, he took me over for about 18 months, and it was the best time of my life.
So from like 27 to almost 29.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I don't, know exactly. But yeah, somewhere in there.
Got it. Okay.
And all from this PE aide.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I give a quick story on this?
Oh, yeah.
So he's about 130 pounds, right?
Yeah.
He's like 5 foot nothing.
Uh-huh.
And, I was in shape and all that. But I love this guy. He's super smart. We would just trash talk back and forth, but he's very smart. So he started getting into MMA around this time. Uh-huh. And he says, hey, I could whoop you. I said, Kenny, let me explain something to you really quick. I said, number 1, I am highly athletic. Yeah. Number 2, I outweigh you by 60 pounds. Number 3, I'm way stronger than you'll ever think about me. Yeah. Number 4, did I already say I'm highly athletic?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said I've been in a few I've been in a few wing dingers before. I said my brother has researched that we come from the middle of the Tribe 300. Yeah. I said there is 0 chance that you can whoop me. Mm-hmm. So he just kept badgering me. Now think about this.
Yeah.
If I did this now, I'd be locked up in every which way. But he says, I said, Kenny, if you say one more word, I'm going to... And when I said, and I wrestled. Right? I said, if you say one more word, I'm going to pretzel you up.
In front of everyone.
Yep. 150 kids.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I hope they can't. I hope there's a statute of limitations
I think there is.
with the district. This was 25 years ago or whatever. But anyway, so I pretzel him up.
Doesn't he say word?
Yeah, he says word. and so I pretzel him up and I say, you know, why don't you go ahead and apologize to all these people? And I said, sorry, kids. Please don't have your parents call me. It was you know, whatever. So this is like first period. So fourth period, he starts yippity yapping again. And I said, Kenny, if you say, and I didn't even get out like one more word. I didn't get. He goes, word. And so this time I got him in the banana split, and that's a bad position for if you have a male part.
Yeah.
And I was squeezing on him pretty good. He's you know.
Yeah.
And I said, apologize, all you know. We went through. So at the end of this, we had this little gymnasium. It wasn't even like a full gym, you know, like basketball gym. She goes, let me just get you in a hold, and he put me in a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out.
Nothing you could do.
Nothing.
And you said you got weight of about 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah, I mean these, you know, once these guys cinch in, you know, technique matters.
Yeah.
And but he would have never got to my neck, and we'd have been a real, you know, fight there.
Yeah.
But anyway, and my name is JoJo Dancer.
Yeah.
Right?
Got it.
I just had to tell. It's just the funniest doggone story. Just looking back on hindsight, you're just like, oh my gosh.
And then so now family friends from 26 to 30, first kid.
Yeah, first kid, and so now the in-laws kind of come together.
Right.
I mean, they knew each other, and you know, weddings and stuff. But now there's, you know, the birthdays, you know, more where there's family. So I would say that the family grew, and then the friends go bye-bye because you're so busy with kids.
Right.
You don't have time. You ain't staying up till 2 a.m. Playing. What was the game called? I said.
Bunko?
Yeah, Bunko.
Yeah.
Or whatever that game. I don't know whatever that doggone game was. You're staying up till 2 a.m. trying to get a screaming kid to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, so I would say the family portion of that went up, and then the friends part went down. And, you know, I've talked about that with balance.
Yeah.
You know, balance spiritual religion, and no, there's no such thing as balance. It's called harmony.
Right.
Yeah. And so a lot more time with family and really close friends, but the other friends, bye-bye, because they have their own kids, and it's, you know, it's tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then with health physical at 26, 30.
I'm just a beast, dude.
Still a beast.
Yeah, I have the full combination.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everything's clicking, and doesn't it make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, think about the best athletes are usually around 24 to 28, 29, 30. Now, what these guys are doing now is just ridiculous. But, you know, modern medicine, you know, supplement, whatever. But, you know, usually that's the case, 20, you know, because at 22, you may have a little bit more whatever physical, but you don't have the mental capacity yet.
Right.
So now at 24, 25, you have experience, you have mental capacity, and now you have this physical that just,
different.
It was really crazy.
Got it. And then with your personal social now.
Yeah, so again, you know, you start to want to do experiential things for your kids, and so we had planned out more systemically. Imagine that. We want to go see every major city in California. We want to start in California.
Got it.
So we went down south. We went up north. We went over to the coast. We went over to the other side of the coast. And, you know, you take your kids there, and you know, you start to create memories.
Right.
From there, and then, you know, through this whole time, I should have said, really, my best personal social was my hobby collecting.
Yeah.
So I've collected sports type stuff, memorabilia, cards, or action figures. You know, since I've been in since I was 18, so almost 30 years. And I would hoard them at first.
Yeah.
And then I'd sell them all at once. You know, that's how we got into our first house. It was Kenner starting lineups, hoarding them, sold them for $20,000, and back then that was a crap ton of money.
Oh yeah.
And put a down payment on our second house. So okay, I got to go back again. You know, I used to love to go hustle. That's a fun time. So I forgot to say that was probably my sharpening the saw.
Right.
But it was kind of intense, like, you know, you're hunting. You know, it's the thrill of the hunt, so to speak.
Got it.
But I did that my whole life, you know, meaning my adult life.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And then with career material, teaching, coaching, anything new.
Yeah, around 30s when the after school program
Okay.
started, and so so I had to give up coaching,
Got it.
and I think that was right at 30, maybe a little bit younger actually. I can't remember. I'm not all the way good with that, exact time frames. But I always say, God has a plan.
Yeah.
Most teachers don't have an adult that they work with; they just work with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always had an adult, so 16 special day kids, one adult.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had 1,000 PE kids and 5 adults, including the one that I had to choke out. Right, and then I had the after school program where I had 16 adults. I had around 300 after school kids, plus I was teaching.
Right.
So I had my 5, PE aides plus 1,000 kids.
Yeah.
And then after a year of me being the site director, I became the program manager where I had 10,000 kids, 223 employees. So there was this plan all the way through, unbeknownst to me. I'm not just going to be working with kids forever. I'm going to eventually work with the adults that work with kids, or just adults, period, that are starting their own businesses or entrepreneurship, or want to be professional athletes, or right. But the systems I had created, you just plug anything into it, it just works.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then so now we'll move into individual system of spiritual religious from 26 to 30.
So individual system mindset, or
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah. Again, everything's it's just at the height of the market. I was making more money than most people my age. I lived in a house that most people would not be in at my age. I was, I was working 12 hours a day still, but we were helping, like I say, 10,000 students, 223 adults, and that means probably 20,000, parents. Because we really, my mom and I really did a good number out there. And that program, 20-something years later, still runs strong.
Yeah.
And but yeah, everything's just at the height of the market, dude. Like, you're just there. You remember, wherever you were at the height, doing your decathlon.
Yeah.
It's like everything you touch turns to gold, dude.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Got it. And then with getting organized, 26 to 30.
Again, heightened, right? Because think about it. Now, so when you're at a site, or so let's say you have 16 special day kids, you're there. It's what I call going deep.
Yeah.
You can touch it, you can be around it. You don't even have to have a system. You can just be good yourself,
Yeah.
and good things are going to happen. So then you go and you spread out, and you're like, wait a minute, PE, it's spread out a little bit more, but there's still, you can see them.
Yeah.
Well, then now you're going, wait a minute, I got 16 adults in 16 classrooms.
Yeah.
So I had to really go with systems. Well, then I go so that started to go a little bit what I'd call the width or wide.
Okay.
But then that turned into 10 school sites. And if there's 10 to 15 classes in each, I do the math on that.
Yeah.
There's 100. So we started doing very systemic things. That's when we developed our leadership program.
Okay.
And it's second to none. I'll put our leadership program up against anybody. Most leadership programs are made for like the upper echelon. Ours isn't. So we can dummy it down a little bit for like what we call the jets, the junior executives.
Okay.
We've run fourth graders through it.
Okay.
Yeah, all the way up to where we've, high level CNN type people that we've worked with and talked with and helped.
Right.
And we got everywhere in between. So you don't have to be like this, which is where most leadership programs are at.
Right.
We can help you no matter where you're at.
Okay.
If your talent level's off the chart, great. If the talent level's lower, that's fine too.
Got it.
And so we have a universal system, but we can play with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's really cool.
And then the solution showcase piece.
Yeah, just busy. You can imagine. So when I retired, my wife said I quit at like 35. When I retired to go pursue entrepreneurial type stuff, when I was like 35 or so, the famous saying was, I'd answer the phone like a million times a day. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. And so they had flip phones back then. And so they did a gold, they spray painted it gold, where it was like real shiny, put it on a plaque, an old flip phone, and it says, hi, this is Brett. That's what they gave me for the retirement. And so, you know, at first you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off,
Yeah.
right? Because you want to be all that in a bag of chips,
Yeah.
you know. And then you learn to develop a system to where now you're not running all over; it's coming to you.
Got it.
Then what you do is you go, well, wait a minute, let me go get the best other people and let me put them there. So I call it, you know, at first the funnel goes like this.
Yeah.
So imagine playing tennis, going back and forth. All these balls are coming at you every which way. You're running ragged 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're paying you for 8 hours. You're working 12 hours. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. Hi, this is Brett. You know, and then I go, okay, this is ridiculous. So I put it into a system to where all the balls are funneled to. But there's still millions of balls.
Right.
So you're still busy, but at least you're not exhausted.
Right.
And then I said, okay, and we put these two gals right in front of us. And I didn't get many balls because they could get it on.
Yeah.
You know, so on and so forth. But, you know, you just continue to develop things. And so we developed a lot of great systems from there. But our biggest one was the leadership program. Yeah.
Got it. And then with collecting data.
Again, everything, dude, we got started to get anal. Spreadsheets, Excel, activity feeds into progressions, progression feeds into results. You know, there was behind the scenes stuff over here. We called the silence. You know, this that would feed this, and how are we helping this kid? What about in math? I mean, it got wild, right? But we got it on. Like we should have developed our own software system and tracking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it got very serious, and then we started to instill. How do you guys celebrate? It's so funny to ask somebody that they go, yeah, it's total crickets. Nobody celebrates anything. They go to the next thing. I mean, I think you do pretty good with it now, right? Because you've learned that.
Yeah, because I learned it before.
Yeah, you're ADD, ADHD, whatever acronym you have, you know.
Yeah.
But we learned that, you know, to celebrate, to dislike what. So our after school program, pretty rough area. Matter of fact, the street had like 8 schools within like a street or two, and it was the highest crime area of the time. I don't know about now, but it was the highest. And so we used to tell our you know, little gangbanger kids and stuff, when you come in here, you flip on the switch and forget all that crap. You'll be safe in here, I promise you. And so smile, have fun. I mean, dude, we had the toughest freaking dudes. Smile, whatever. I said, but make sure when you leave, that you turn that light off. I said, you have to think about that every time you walk in to the after school program and every time you leave. Because if they would have left with that light on, smile, they'd have got the crap beat out of them, killed, raped, whatever. Yeah. So we had to teach them. That was part of our system. That's why we talk a lot in touch points. You know, the lights on, the lights off. What about, you know, so on and so forth.
Gotcha. And then last thing, thoughtful advancement.
Yeah, and so we were taking all this data, dude, and just flat getting it on. Right? So we would go, okay. The whole after school program came about from technically thoughtful advancement, meaning we just asked them,
okay,
what are you guys needing? And they identified 9 areas: health, after school, So we just went in and did that. Well, we did that as a microcosm in all these little areas.
Okay.
So, you know, believe it or not, with as great of a sports athletes that we had out there, and I'm talking like ridiculous, they had 0 sports in elementary. So we started to play each other in after school program. So we just took every little bit of data and we go, okay, we got to do this, you know, or if we're doing this, we got to make it better. Or we're doing this and it's already really good, we'll just celebrate. Or, man, this is crap. Or, you know, and we just would take all of that and we would continually thoughtfully advance. And we would just, you know, check it off the list. We used to talk about it with the fruit on a tree.
Okay.
So, you know, everybody wants to go grab the fruit way up here, get on the ladder. I'm like, let's get all the fruit on the ground first, right? And make sure it's not rotten, but grab the good stuff. Yeah. We'll eat that, and then we'll pick the stuff that we can, you know, right here, the low-hanging fruit. Then we'll get where we have to reach a little bit. Then we'll go get on the doggone ladder. So by the end, you know, we would have 75 items that we needed to address, either on the positive or the negative, or the undecided. I mean, it didn't matter, right? And then we would address them, and then all of a sudden we'd be, you know, 90 to 120 days in, and they were all resolved. Right. So then it was like, so I used to tell people, I'd go and, you know, like how you flick a guy in the ear, like to get him go, because it ran so smooth. So then I went from, where I didn't have to work 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
That was the first 3 or 4 years. I could work 8 hours. Now I continued to work
Right.
or do things, but yeah, I didn't have to.
Got it. Well, so that's it for the first part.
Thank goodness. Are you tired?
Yeah.
My neck feels like it's beat. I had to do, this guy wants some Chicago Bears cards.
Oh,
And I thought I had them organized.
Yeah.
And I forgot I had got a shipment in. I bought a big collection, and I hadn't went through them yet. So I've been doing that for the last hour long, and I'm like, my neck's not feeling good.
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah.
Well, for part 2, we'll come back with 30 to 50
Okay.
and talk about that, and then we'll also add in your company system.
All right.
All right.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.